Hey everybody, Tag Life Done Free. Hey, I thought I would share a video with you guys. I had to build me some wood racks to get my milled lumber up off the ground, and they had to be temporary. I had to be able to move them, and I also thought I would just run you guys through kind of how I manage, or one way I manage all of the projects and all of the things going on. So, anyway, if you're interested in looking at a wood rack and kind of checking out how I manage things, come on, let's check it out. Hey everybody. So, one of the hard parts about homesteading is always trying to find a place to put everything. And as your infrastructure expands and you can do more and more things, you get, problems with, okay, what do I do with it? And so what I need to do is I need to figure out a place to put my milled lumber. I've got a whole bunch of it sitting on pallets out in the weather, and I really want to get it inside. So let me show you what I'm going to try to get done today. So I started framing this wall right here, right inside my building, and I'm going to continue to frame it and plywood it to about there, and then I'm going to build a couple racks in here. But the challenge with the racks is they've got to be temporary, because I don't know if this is where I want it forever. So I've got to build some temporary racks that'll hold lumber. So guess we'll get started. So insulation installed. Again, all I'm going to do is this one little wall right here. Now eventually I'm going to build those walls all the way up, all the way over to the other side, but because I can't just spend my time here in the workshop, even though that's what I would prefer to be doing. I got other things to do. I'm just gonna get this one wall in and get this rack built, so I have somewhere to put my milled lumber. And I need somewhere to put my milled lumber because I got to get that door built, and I don't have anywhere to lay everything because I got stuff everywhere. So I'm actually building this so I can get to my door. But anyway, stay tuned. All right. So basically, I got my canvas prepared. So what we're going to do is we're going to build wood racks in here. But I had to get that wall in there first because it'd be pretty hard to get it after I decided to build stuff. So canvas prepared, off to the racks. All right, everybody. So let me show you what I'm going to do. So basically, I'm going to run a 2x6. And then in that 2x6, I'm going to run some 2x4s out like this. Okay? Clip to the side like that. Okay? And then what I'll do is I'll put blocks in here because that'll stop the shelf from being able to tilt. And then I'll put another 2x6 on the outside, and then I will attach them to the wall with an L bracket so that they're movable. And I need to build this 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I need to build this times 5. So that's what I'm going to do. All right, guys. So here's what a semi-finished one looks like. Okay, so you've got that bottom shelf. And remember what we did is we sandwiched these in here so that it would create and support a ton of weight. On the top up here, I'll build another shelf for just some storage. My wood planks will go on those 3 shelves. And the center section right here that I built, I'll be able to slide 4x8 sheets of things back into for storage. So I will attach this to the wall with an L bracket that bolts into a stud. And the reason I'm going to do this is because I don't want these to be permanent. I'm not 100% sure this is where I want the rack to go full time, but I got to get it up off the ground, so I have to make it movable. So I'll attach it with L brackets. We're going to build a series of them down this wall, and then we ought to be able to stack our lumber. All right, so if you look here, I just put an L bracket in here, a couple lag bolts. This one's going directly into a stud. These 2 are into my rack. And I did the same thing, as you can see down here. And what that does, that'll just keep this thing kind of locked in. It also makes it super movable. So if I decide I don't want it here, I'll just unbolt that bolt right there, and the same one on the other side, and I'll just pick it up and I'll move it to where I want. The nice thing about this type of design is that it's going to allow me to enter it from the front. Instead of trying to slide it, in between something, I'll just be able to stack it up on the front. Now, a little bit of the pain in the ass here is this piece back here, because this will require me to slide the 4x8 sheets in. But I usually don't have a lot of them in storage, so hopefully it'll be all right. Hey everybody. So I just thought I'd show you guys a little tip. So as you can see, my bottom of my brace is a 2x6. right? It's got this angle cut. It's a 22.5 degree angle cut. But all of these have the same 22.5, and this is just so when I'm moving stuff in and out, it don't really get cut up on things, right? So you could measure that out, each individual cut if you wanted to, or let me show you a little tip. Okay, so you look down here, see how I've drawn these lines, these square lines, and there's two of them, right? See that little diagonal? Because when I put my saw on a 22.5, if I'm going to cut a 2x4, then all I have to do is just line it up with my line, right? And then when I cut it, it has the perfect angle, or in the case of a 2x6, right, same thing. So I'm going to line it up with that line. See that line right there? Right? And this allows me to cut the same angle each and every time. And you get yourself kind of an assembly line, you know, kind of built to do it. You can see I draw all over my compound miter saw. They come right off. They're, you know, super easy. Just, you know, wipe them down Windex or whatever it is, and they'll pull off. They also wear off. But at the end of the day, it helps me when I ain't got to measure each individual cut by making a little line on my saw. For those of you guys who don't know, this is a 10-inch Milwaukee compound miter saw. Super valuable tool around a homestead. It's battery powered. I can take it into the field with me. I can take it anywhere I go and have this type of accuracy in a cut. Is just a super cool thing. So if you don't have one, I definitely get one. I also have a 12-inch, but it's a corded one, and I never use it. This is my go-to saw right here. Well, I'm about halfway done. Got about 16 feet of it done, and I got all of this wood up off the ground because I've been tripping on this. So I'm gonna give you kind of the tour real quick. Well, see those bottom boards there? That's gonna be a kitchen table someday. I've been saving them for a while. And those big half logs there, those are the legs. But anyway, so back here, back behind, I made a place to drop some plywood. Same with down in there. This space back here, as I mentioned, is to slide a 4x8 sheet through. Now the only negative is I'm gonna have to slide it in from this side, but that's okay. But anyway, so that'll give me that space. I got a little space in the back here I can use for 1x4s or whatever to stack them up, stuff a little bit smaller. But at the end of the day, it's good for now. Again, this whole thing can be disassembled with, I believe, 12 lag bolts will take this whole thing apart, and so I can move it if I choose to move it. But nice, easy half-day project. Now, better get on to something else before B gets mad, right? See you guys. Well, since I'm standing here, I figured I'd show you guys my planning board. So this is how I manage all of the projects and things that I've got going on. So, you know, some of them are minor. So like if you look at this first category here, that's summer. It just says firewood, right? But it also says firewood in fall and in spring so that I can prepare for the winter. So if you look up there, there's pod 1, the first pod that I built. I have to finish the tile and trim. Pod 2, I've got to finish and trim, and I got to install a wood wall. Pod 3, I got to finish the bathroom. It's functional, but it's not complete. Trim out some windows. Pod 4, still got quite a bit left to do in it. B's workshop, I got a little bit to do. Processing kitchen, I got one project this spring. Garden is just whatever she tells me right now. I know that I got to move some dirt, build some arches. Wallapini, all the footings, walls, geothermal battery, livestock. Got some fencing. I want to put up a barn this year. Powerhouse is pretty much done. I want to clean it out, but I don't really have a lot left to do there. Wood shop, I got some shelves to finish. Want to get my bathroom installed. The mechanic shop, which is where I'm standing now, I've got to finish framing the lower walls, insulate, and finish the electrical. And so anyway, basically, as I think of things, this is where I write them. And, you know, from there, I can come out here and I can prioritize what I have to do in any given day. I just cleaned it up today and re-put stuff back on there because I finished some things like my wood storage rack that I built today. So, I know not relevant to this video, but I thought you'd enjoy.